Hello everybody, welcome back. It's Cape Rugby TV time. Nice to have you along. Of course, we talk club rugby. Big thanks to our partners on board with us. Score Energy Drinks. Whoops, nearly dropped that one. Score Energy Drinks, of course, on board with Cape Rugby TV, Western Province Club Rugby, and the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. We're going to give you a chance to win yourself a case of Score during the course of the show, so don't go away. And of course, Thorburn and Security Solutions. There you are, your one-stop shop for your eventing and security. And don't forget, of course, MChem 24-hour pharmacy on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. On the show with me today, Jerome Parvati. Jerome, welcome back.
Yeah, JP, good to be back. Thanks.
Nice to have you here. And no stranger to Cape Rugby TV, Jono van der Walt.
How's it, JP? Thanks for having us again.
Yeah, it's great to have you guys in the studio. Looks like we've got our set panel. Always the same guys, so I'm sure you guys know each other from behind. Do you guys interact from a club rugby perspective? I mean, I know that you've coached together, but now, Jerome, I mean, you're busy with the Curry Cup, and John, you're busy with the club rugby. Do you guys phone each other and say, hey, Coach, you've got a tip for me?
Now it will be rugby is just very busy at the moment, but we have had the privilege, or actually I've had the privilege to coach with Jerome, and learned many things. But for now, we involved in club and province, and it's every day, every night, every waking moment. It's pretty much rugby.
Yeah, we still in contact, JP. Though I'm very bad. Jono knows. He sent me a text or he phoned me, and 2 days later I phoned back. But I always phone back.
All right, folks, we've got a full show for you today. We've got the match from Kales River up against Unimil. We're going to take a look at the first half and the second half. We'll also go down to the High Performance Centre, where it's the DHL Western Province Women's Rugby training side. We've got some interviews with some of the players. Of course, the DHL Stormers are having a fantastic season. We'll catch up with the players and coaches there. And then, of course, we'll take a look at your logs, your results, and your fixtures. So stay tuned. All that and more still coming up during the course of the show tonight. But right, let's get the ball rolling. Unimil first half up against Kales River. The following features brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Security Solutions. Right, Kales River, Unimil, of course, Jerome. Home ground advantage for Kales River, but first half score there 24-15 to Unimil. Unimil seemed to have in the first half there dominating.
Yeah, for me it seems a bit even because Kales River also played like that first half. You could see they playing. They're not afraid to play, and they scored a couple of tries. Unimol fought back, and yeah, at Kales River it's never easy. So I think that was a good balance in the first half. Good rugby in the first half from both sides.
Your thoughts, Jono?
Yep, and it was a nice afternoon for some running rugby, and both teams came out. Kales River obviously playing at home and wanting to pick up some log points, and Unimol wanting to carry on with a good run of form. And it was pretty even for the first 20-30 minutes, but Unimol definitely showing their depth and their strong hand towards the end of that first half.
And Jerome, if you're looking at that first half now, what is it that you're specifically looking at to see? I mean, yeah, when you cast your eye at a game like that, we know we'll see the second half after the break. But what are you looking for?
No, if I look at the set piece, take the lineouts on both sides in the contesting of Unimol, but good contesting by Unimol, but especially there in the 22, Kales River still win their lineout ball, and I saw twice now the 6 flank. I don't know the numbers. I don't know if it's 60 or 6 because they've got some funny numbers, but I think the 6 flank, a couple of line breaks, and I mean they actually scored off that line break. So yeah, so the balance between the set piece and the broken play was good from Kales River side in that first half.
And Jonah, from your side, and I'm not going to say put your false play cap on, but if you're now a coach in Super League A, and you're looking across your opponents, I mean, we're looking at teams now that are getting stronger and stronger every year. The level between the teams, I mean, unless you're an expert, you probably wouldn't notice such a big difference between the two teams, even though on board Unimol was leading. But what are you looking at from as a coach of another Super League A side?
Yeah, so we'll have a look at the set piece, so we'll look at the scrums, and then you look at the scrum from the start of the game, as you go to 20 minutes, 40 minutes, 60 minutes, 80 minutes, and you're trying to see if their scrum can actually hold and withstand for the full duration of a game. You look at their lineouts and have a look at their calling. Start to have a look at when some of the substitutions come on and to see if all of the calling and the depth is correct. So again, from a Super League A coach watching another game, we'll look at the set piece a lot, and then you start to move towards defense. You start to have a look at their spacing and their alignment. You start to see if they're folding enough. You start to see if they're a bit lazy, a bit laboured.
I mean, would you adjust your own game plan according to what you're seeing on the screen?
If you spot a good enough trend in the team you're going to play against, you will make small adjustments. You won't make big adjustments, but you'll also make your players mindful of the fact that maybe this team has a tendency to do this on attack and this on defense, and they've got a tendency to do this at scrum and line-out time. So you will definitely have a look for trends, and that's why we analyze certain teams. Yeah. And then based on that, you'll then make sure that your team is prepared and ready.
I mean, one of the things, Jerome, that I'm enjoying about just having a look there is, I mean, firstly, it jumped out for me that Kales River's kit is looking spectacular. They've got nice jerseys. It's something that obviously they've made an effort on, but it's entertaining rugby. I mean, you can go down to the game, any club rugby game on a Saturday, and you can sit there and you can really enjoy watching a good game.
Yeah, JP, I also think that I think we spoke about this a while back, that you can see even the ref is sort of have the freedom to ref the game. You don't see that the crowd is like on the ref, and you can see the people enjoy themselves because the team on the end of the day, both teams are out there to play rugby. Yeah. People go to enjoy the rugby, but that's one thing that I pick up now this season is that people are just enjoying the game. There's no funny stuff off and the ref gets into trouble, and that's good.
I must say, I think that also clubs have made a big effort, and after the last 2 years, people are simply just enjoying back on it. And Kales River, of course, always a fantastic venue. Just sit, there's a nice stand, everyone's enjoying themselves. But folks, we're going to take an ad break. Yes, Unimol leading their 24-15 in the first half. When we come back, we'll show you the second half. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. Right, folks. So before the break, we took a look there at the match between, or we are taking a look at the match between Kales River and Unimol. Of course, home ground advantage for Kales River. They went into the break leading, or at least Unimol was leading 24-15. On the show with me, Jerome Parvater, Jonathan Avalt. Jerome, let's start with you. Unimol leading there 24-15 in the first half. Kells River will be obviously looking to turn it around. We're not going to give the final score now. Kells River will be looking to turn it around, but of course Unimol will be looking to close it out. What would you be advising both of those teams to be thinking about going into the second half?
Yeah, obviously, I think the Kells River coach will say, listen, we have to check up our defence and maybe look at the penalties where we are on the field, not to give the discipline, not to give penalties away. And obviously, the Unimol coach will say, listen, we have the upper hand, let's go out the second half, we know what to do, we know we have to play in the right areas of the field, and then we'll get points.
Yeah.
So I think from the two coaches, that's basically what they would say at halftime.
We'll see in a second if it happens. Jono, same question for you.
Yeah, I'd actually tend to agree with Jerome's entirely. I'd almost just add to the fact that both teams the week before, like all of us in the Western Province, played in wet weather, and so now you've got some dry weather to play in. Unimol came off a loss, as did Kells River, so both of them will go into this halftime exactly with the same chats, and they're like, guys, we need points here, we need a victory here. So in the Kells River camp, they're like, it's our home ground, we need points here. Unimol side is, look, we lost last week, we need to correct the ship and make sure that we stump these guys. So it'll be a massive second half for both teams.
Well, let's take a look then at the second half. Kells River at home up against Unimol. Unimol, of course, leading going into the break. Let's see what happened. The following feature is brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, welcome back. Well, there we go. You got your result there, Jerome. Unimol walking away with it then in the second half, 50 points to 20 then. Big win for Unimol.
Yeah, as I said, when you asked me about the halftime, Unimol managed to play in the right areas of the field and keep Kells River in their 22. And every time if they're in their 22, they got points. It's strange to see that at the end there, that Kells River was still scrumming Unimol. And Unimol at one stage were controlling the scrums. So, and it's just good to see that Kells River didn't give up, but I mean, they only scored one try in the second half.
Yeah, Johnny, you were talking about defence. You were saying on the one side you want to get points on the board, On the other side, you're also talking about that you had to, if you're at a halftime position and you're talking at halftime and you're down, you're saying that you need to brush up on your defence. It looked like for Kuilsriver things were getting a little bit loose there, and Unimil was taking advantage of some of those gaps.
Yeah, what will tend to happen as well is when you start to make some of your substitutions and your changes, you do lose a little bit of disconnect sometimes. And when guys coming on, the guys are chasing the game. So when they're chasing it, it's going to leave it a bit open. So they're trying to attack, and then they kind of get out of a bit of a shape. And when they do that on attack, which means they're then scrambling, and when they're scrambling, they're now at 6s and 7s, and they're not holding their line, and they're not holding their defence true. And then, of course, it's a bit soul-destroying to be behind your poles every time and come back. But like Jerome said, they never gave up the fort till the end. Super League A, they are up from the SLB, even though they've been in the Super League A for 3 seasons, but they've only played 1. Yeah. But the level of physicality is very, very different. And we mean that doesn't mean that it's less physical in the other leagues. It just means that for 80 minutes, a team keeps on coming and coming, and it's that same intensity and that same urgency and that same physicality that you have to be able to live with. And once players get used to that, then that's when they can thrive. And Unimil, you can clearly see that they're a team that have been used to it. They're trained, well-conditioned, well-drilled, and you can see that as time goes on, they just slowly wear down their opposition.
Well, just looking at the logs, and we'll put it up on the screen now, but Unimil are currently the top point scorers in the log. They've got 2 and they've scored, or at least the points difference are in favour of Unimil. They are doing really well. I mean, this is actually maybe a lesson for other clubs that are going to play against Unimil, is that they are currently, well, they're a point-scoring machine.
Again, it's also based off a good set piece. So they've got a good scrum and line-out base. They got nice big burly defenders, and then they've got very good ball carriers. So once you're on the front foot with your set piece and you're carrying the ball nicely, they've got lots of very good little dinky halfbacks and a very good back 3. And their wings and fullbacks have been scoring a number amount of tries, and their kickers have been kicking every conversion and penalty over as well. So they've been maximising their points in the league so far.
Jerome, I mean, looking at the log, and folks, let's quickly take a look at the logs there. Then, of course, you see UCT is currently sitting at the top of number 1, followed by Unimil, then False Bay, Marties, Durbell, and of course UWC sitting at 6. Hamilton's at 7, Tygerberg at 8, and there's Brackenfell, Kuilsriver, Hamlets, Paarl, NTK, SK Warmers, and Villages who make up the bottom 5. Jerome, we are now, well, we're about a third. We're about a third of the way into the season now. Of course, Kuilsriver now having played 7 games, they're gonna want to push it a little bit now to start challenging to get into the, if you want to aim for, call it the top 7 or so positions. But we're now starting to see a little bit of a drift between, call it, if we look at the points there, for example, the top 6 from UCT to UWC, maybe even Hamilton's. They're starting to increase the gap a little bit. We're starting to see that split between the top and the bottom in Super League A.
Yeah, if you take Kuilsriver, for example, now, they would say, look, we've played the big boys. We've got a few easy games. Yeah. We're not turning back. We need to get points on the board now. And as you say, it's still early days. So any of those teams there, I would say till 11, they still have a lot to play for. So I don't think they will give up. I just think, like, if you look at Marties, all the games that they've played and where they are, it's not the Marties that we know. So they would also look to get a bit higher up.
Well, I think, folks, the fantastic thing about it at the moment is that we're talking club rugby. And again, we're having these interesting discussions about what the league is going to look like this weekend. Brackenfell, False Bay, Jono, we never know. Because if you know your club rugby, you know it could go anywhere. All right, folks, we'll take an ad break. And when we come back from the break, we'll tell you more about club rugby in Western Province. We're, of course going to take a look at the logs, results, and fixtures a little bit later. DHL Western Province Women's Rugby side is doing extremely well, as are the DHL Stormers. Back in a sec. Welcome back, everybody. It's Cape Rugby TV. It's fantastic to have you along. We're talking club rugby. Right, well, the DHL Western Province Women's Rugby squad has been going from strength to strength. Of course, don't forget they've got a new sponsor, Tsebo and Thorburn, involved with the squad now, helping with catering. And of course, that's fantastic for the ladies. Every time pre-training, they get a nicely prepared meal. Jerome, that's a pretty big boost for the squad.
Yeah, JP, I think Semi Malachi and Faisal did well to get the girls that, because the girls, some of them study, some of them come from work. And just for them to have something to eat before they go to training or afterwards, it's very good. And so well done to that. And then I just love their spirit, and look, and they're in the final, so.
Talking about the finals, they of course played against Border over the week. At least they played against Eastern Province over the weekend. 91 points to 10. Jerome, I mean, the women's side, we know there's a lot of challenges. I mean, some of the teams really do challenge them, but that's a pretty big score for Western Province.
Yeah, no, that's a great score, and actually not a score that you want before a final, because the girls are too confident now. But yeah, it was a good result for them.
Yeah, and of course, this coming weekend they take on Border, also at Hamilton's Rugby Football Club, in the semi-finals. Right, we managed to catch up. In fact, sorry, in the finals of the Women's Premier Division. But yeah, we're looking forward to that. Of course, we went down to training to find out firsthand from the ladies how things are going. The following features brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions.
I don't wanna lie, I'm so excited to be back, and I see the effort that they've been putting throughout the season, because I only have a chance to play maybe 2 games because it's almost the end of the season. We are playing finals next week, this coming weekend. Each year there is a different challenge, so each and every player that is coming into the system needs to work hard in order for that person to get the spot in the system. So they've been working hard and they've been giving everything that they have, and those new players that are in the system, they are also working hard, and they showed that they wanted to be a part of the team. So like working hard and showing you to have that attitude that is showing that you want to play a big role. I can say that if we can just put our focus on and make sure that we change our attitude, and we have that mindset, and we have that in our hearts that we need to win this game, that's all that we need for now. We don't need any distraction that will come in front of us in order for us to face the Border.
Here we go.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic season. We've played 6 games, won 5, which give us a good winning percentage, and I think our confidence was boosted by the scoreline last week, but that's in the past. I think now our biggest challenge, our arch nemesis actually, our Border Bulldogs in the final. So as you can hear, everyone is excited, and we all systems go. Yeah, it's a great prospect. We're excited about it. But again, it all boils down to that particular Saturday, on that particular day, and in that particular 80 minutes. But it's lovely to play in front of a home crowd in the community, and bring rugby to the community, and it's fantastic to experience.
Last week it was like I'm not going to play, and I might be playing as well, and I got told Thursday that I'm actually going to play. Yeah, it was very exciting to actually put the blue and white jersey around my neck once again, and yeah, I didn't know what to expect because I hadn't played 15s rugby since February, so I was just like, what am I going to do? How is it going to turn out? And all nervous once again, and I think it was good nerves as it turned out. As the girls put that huge score on board, and I think it was a great turn-up, and for me to return back at home as well. Well, yeah, it's totally different to what's compared to last year, and like you were saying now, I don't think no one ever want to feel the feeling that they felt after the game. I also felt because I was watching, and it's just like the tiny bits that they lost the game with, and hopefully that's going to be something that's going to be putting more confidence and putting more fire behind their hearts, behind our hearts as well, to just not want to feel that way again, and to just fight up until the last whistle to take away all that feeling that we felt the previous game we played for them.
thus far we've really had a good season. We haven't peaked yet, and I'm hoping that we do that in the final on Saturday. We've had a nice progression, nice mix of young and old. Good squad effort, eh? That game was very good for our team because we actually somehow tried to stick to our structure, but you know when it gets a bit loose, girls played offload into the tackles, into the contact area. They did really well, and the confidence that they got from that is immense. And going into the final, that's what you want. You want the girls to be confident. That leadership, you can't buy that. That you a born leader. Cindy's definitely one of those born leaders. She motivates the girls on and off the field. She's a good role model, and that speaks volumes to her ability as well as Zinkler. Zinkler leads by example. She does things hard and she does it right, and what more can you expect from her? Yes, you know, with border, it's always a mammoth task. It's always a big tussle. They always come dominating in front, and then they spread the ball wide. They always have nice, good speed as well. So going into this game, we just want to play a good, hard, one battle at a time, in their face, fight after fight after fight, grafting it out in the beginning, and then ultimately being successful this year.
This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, well, as you know, of course, we go down to MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy every week. We take a look at some of their highlights, or at least we give you a little bit of feedback about MChem, just so you know. Of course, folks, don't forget, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy is the official pharmacy to Western Province Rugby and the DHL Stormers. This is where the players go to and get their prescriptions or some of the other conveniences that they might need. You'll, of course, remember a while back we spoke to Alistair from Mark, at least inside the store. Right, folks, if you're not aware of MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, you can see it behind me there in all its glory. That is the store on the corner of N1 and Durban Road. Open 24/7. It's one of the unique things about MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy is that they are open 24/7. And if you didn't know, they've also got free parking outside. They've got a fantastic coffee shop upstairs and multiple zones inside the pharmacy, from orthopedic and surgical. There's, of course, pharmaceutical dispensary. There's a travel clinic. There's a skincare clinic. And, of course, nursing sisters on duty 24/7 to help you. And experts in each zone. So, for example, the supplement zone upstairs at MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy has got sports nutrition experts in the zone that can help you with your best sports nutrition supplements, as does the orthopedic zone. For example, Sister Miriam, who works in the orthopedic zone, is there to help you with the right type of products, from bracing to other surgical and orthopedic support. Very important that you have the right type of product. Interestingly enough, last week we also spoke about the fact that you must know your numbers, and MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy is there to help you with your health care, so that you can monitor things like your blood sugar levels or your heart pressure and these other very important factors for your own personal health. That's critical. But folks, if nothing else, do yourself a favor and go and have lunch or coffee at the coffee shop upstairs. I've had lunch there many times. So when we talk about a coffee shop, we're talking about a coffee shop with fantastic menu. Really great sandwiches, fantastic specials during the day. I've always loved the lasagna, my favorite. Anyway, MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy on the corner of N1 and Durban Road, and they're always there for you. The staff are always there, happy, friendly, helpful, really great. We'll take a break. When we come back, we carry on talking club rugby. Back in a sec. Welcome back, folks. Right, Cape Rugby TV. Remember, in a couple of minutes' time, I'm going to give you an opportunity to win yourself a case of Score Energy Drinks if you follow our competition on Facebook, where you can do the Spot the Ball. The DHL Stormers, of course, this past weekend played at the Cape Town Stadium. They took on Edinburgh in the URC. Jono, did you get a chance to watch a game?
I did indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually had some. Actually, there was a later game, so I watched that game completely with the family at home, and it was very good. I was just saying earlier on, I actually had some URC the game before and club rugby on different screens and a tablet. I was just watching rugby the whole day on Saturday, so it was quite pleasant. So.
Before we go to the Stormers game, in fact, Jerome, congratulations on your guys' Curry Cup. You guys are doing. That's it for you now.
No, we play Friday. We play Sharks. Then it's our last game at Stellenbosch again.
Last game, yeah. You happy with your result last weekend?
Yeah, look, I'm not happy, but I think the guys did well. I mean, it was entertaining. Guys scored some awesome tries.
Yeah.
It was great rugby at the end of the day.
Going back to the DHL Stormers here, looking at the Cape Town Stadium, anybody that was watching that would have thought really rugby's back. Stadium was, well, not full because of obvious regulations, I suppose, but fans are back, watching entertaining, exciting rugby, and Stormers are really, really doing well. I mean, sitting now in the top 4 of the URC, there must be an enormous amount of pride at the moment with you guys doing so well at Western Province.
Yeah, it is, JP, and you can just see the people and the support, and as you say, how the face at Cape Town Stadium, to see that people. Yeah. And I think this week, we're going to see some more people. The government don't allow a lot of people in the, but I mean, the tickets are already been selling very fast. Yeah.
I think people probably obviously looking at TV wouldn't necessarily understand that some of those seats are not allowed to be occupied. Have I got it right?
Yeah, definitely.
That's why you see the gaps, because it's obviously there's still regulations in place. But fantastic to watch, and what great rugby. Coach John Dobson doing really well with the squad there. We managed to get some of their training this week. This is, of course, exclusive behind the scenes footage with the DHL Stormers. They're, of course, preparing for their match against Ulster this coming weekend at the Cape Town Stadium. Let's go behind the scenes. We'll catch up with some of the training and, of course, some of the players behind the scenes. The following features brought to you by Score Energy Drinks, MChem 24-hour Pharmacy, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Great rugby coach with the squad there. We managed to this week. This is, of course, behind the with the DHL Stormers for their match this coming weekend stadium. Let's go behind the scenes. Training. This feature was brought to you by MChem 24-Hour Pharmacy, Score Energy Drinks, and Thorburn Security Solutions. Right, folks, well, firsthand then you can see the team involvement there. Jerome, it's pretty much exactly what we said before the break. Looking at the training there, from the scrums to the lineouts, you guys are all hands on deck. You're helping with the scrums. You've got Shumi there helping with the scrums. You've got Rito with the lineouts. You've got Nazim standing on one side. I mean, it really does look positive in terms of sort of a united effort.
No, it's exactly as Jono was saying earlier. That's how we work, and that's the success. You have to work together to be successful. So everybody work, and there's no egos. You just go on with your job. If I have something to say to Dobo, or maybe try this, we use this. Rito come and say, maybe look at this line out, or can you do this line out because Ulster is doing this line out, and we just help and we just go on.
Of course, this coming weekend then DHL Stormers take on Ulster at the Cape Town Stadium. They're playing on Saturday, so make sure that you get your tickets. I think you can get those tickets on ticketpro.co.za. Go and buy your tickets online. Go and support the DHL Stormers. Big games then this coming weekend. Right, well, folks, of course, as you know, Score Energy Drinks are on board with Western Province Club Rugby and the Western Province Club Rugby Sevens. Every week we put a pick on our Facebook page where we give you an opportunity to win yourself a case of Score Energy Drinks. So we've got a pick. I'm going to give Jerome and Jono a chance to give it a go. We've got a ball here, and incidentally, I'm sure Jono you'll be recognizing that jersey. Folks, you've got an opportunity to choose A1, A2, A3. B1, B2, B3, or C1, C2, C3. Jerome, I'm going to give you first bite at the apple here, so to speak. Would you like to
I think Jono's got a bit of an advantage. I think you've seen this. But I'll go
all right.
B2.
B2, right. Jono, would you like to give that a shot?
Busanda. It's just gone out of his hands. I'll stick with.
You're trying to remember the game.
Yeah. Well, it's against Villages over there. It's Falsebay versus Villages. Busanda's the man there, and he's just butchered the ball. But I'll say the ball's around there. I'll leave it at A1. But B2
you're gonna go with A1.
I'll go
Jerome,
A1. But B2 is a good call.
Jerome, you're going with B2. All right. Well, folks, I'm gonna have to go with. Let me see. I'm going to go with A2. Yeah. Right. Let's take a look. Where's the ball this week? And well, the positioning of the ball is, of course, in A3.
Can I change?
There we go, folks. Congratulations then to Baden Alloys, who wins the case of Score Energy Drinks, and of course for spotting the ball. Remember, you can go to our Facebook page and you can enter the same competition. We'll take an ad break. When we come back, we'll wrap up the show with our logs, results, and fixtures where we stand in Club Rugby. Back in a sec. Right, welcome back, everybody. Cape Rugby TV. You're watching us right now on Cape Town TV, DSTV channel 263. Tell your friends every Wednesday night, 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock, and of course the repeat on a Saturday morning, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., where we talk about club rugby and the extensions thereof. Right, it's all systems go at Western Province Club Rugby at the moment. You'll know we did touch on Super League A, but I think we're going to also just take a look at some of the fixtures that are coming up this coming weekend. But before we do that, let's just remind you of the results then this past weekend. There were only 2 games in Super League A. Bit of a rotation at the moment. Of course, Paarl with a 22-21 win over SK Warmers, and then Unimil with a win over Kales River. Some big games this weekend. False Bay, Brackenfell, Hamilton's Unimil, Paarl and Durbell, and then of course Villagers take on Kales River, SK Warmers and NTK. Jerome, from your side, False Bay, Brackenfell. False Bay, of course, doing well. I'm not going to take Jono on this one. False Bay doing well, but you can never call any of these games too far in advance.
No, especially not at Brackenfell, but yeah, well, I just think like False Bay have a bit of an upper end, but the home ground advantage can help Brackenfell a bit.
Yeah. Well, folks, you're going to have to keep an eye on things because we're heading to that stage now where the conversation we have next week is going to be slightly different to the conversation because then we have another picture, a better picture already. So it's going to change. It's going to change every week now, quite radically. And I think everybody's going to be taking a look on a Saturday night at those results as they come in because the battle is on. Let's take a look at the results in Super League B. Well, it was a big win for Helderberg over Scottsdene. Collegians 26-13 over Primrose. All Saints 26-10 over Langa. Young Peoples went down to Belleville 23 points to 20, and Goodwood went down to Vineyards. And then Hands and Hearts with a win over Busy Bees. Let's take a look at the logs then in Super League B. Hands and Hearts are sitting at the top of the pile at the moment, followed by Helderberg and All Saints, and then Belhar, Young Peoples, Belleville, Franschhoek, St. George's, Vineyards, Busy Bees, Collegians, Langa, Scottsdene, Goodwood, and Primrose. Primrose, of course, just getting started now in the league. They have only played their 3rd game, but already on the board at least and happy to have started playing. Right, let's take a look at the fixtures then coming up in Super League B. Some interesting games. Primrose and Scottsdene. And then, of course, Langa and Belleville. Belhar take on St. George's, Collegians, and Young Peoples, and Vineyards, and Franschhoek. Jerome, I know where your eyes are going. It's straight to the bottom of the screen where Vineyards is taking on Franschhoek.
Definitely.
That's your derby match this weekend?
That's definitely the game to watch, yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be a big one.
Big one.
Yeah. Primrose will be looking to get on the board, though. They're taking on Scottsdene, and it's going to be an interesting match as well.
Yeah, I mean, Scottsdene also coming off a big loss against Helderberg, also looking for points, so that's going to be a tough one also.
Yeah. And then, Jono, the St. George's Belhar game this coming weekend is going to be an interesting match. St. George's, of course, sitting at number 8 of the log at the moment. They've played 5 games. They're 2 down, but or at least they won 2 of those matches. And Belhar also now really pushing the top of the log as well. That's going to be a big game.
Every game for the Lulu boys is big, JP, and down in that Strand country where rugby is rife, and especially in terms of spectators, it'll be another big encounter for them, man.
Yeah, well, let's take a look now at the results in Super League C from this past weekend. CPUT went down to Carlamore, 35 points to 25. Strand with a win over Kraaifontein, 28-20. Eersterivier went down to Rangers, and then Morningstar, 19-8 over Strand United. Jerome, Carlamore will be happy with that result over CPUT, which is, of course, a varsity shield team. CPUT going to have to think about getting the game face on soon.
Yeah, they're going to have to, and I know Alistair is also not resting, but some of his key players are busy writing exams.
Yeah.
And obviously he's looking at the varsity shield, so the guys have to qualify, they have to study, so it's a mixture, but they have to up the game now.
A team that has already put their stamp on the Super League C, Jerome, I think in terms of getting the ball rolling, and if we just look at success rates here, currently Strand is their only 100% success rate, followed by Rangers. Rangers has played 3 games, they've won 3 games, they are already, after 3 games, number 9 on the log. They have come to the party.
Yeah, I mean, Strand's doing well. they've always, we've seen how the guys were training during COVID and stuff, so they've been working hard. So I think they deserve to be there on top.
I think keep an eye out there, folks. Super League C is also going to start getting very interesting. As I said, Rangers is on the climb. They are heading towards the top, the way that things look at the moment. Super League C fixtures then coming up this weekend. Albions take on Blue Jets. Blue Stars and LCS Rafira Rangers at Strand United. Strand take on Kylamore. Of course, Kylamore just coming off the win against CPUT. Eerste Rivier and CPUT and the Macassar and Wraithby Universals. Jerome, or Jono at least, look out for the Macassar Wraithby game. Oh, these are neighbours. This is going to be a big one.
James, Super League C is always entertaining rugby, and we always chat about some of the derbies and some of the home games, and this weekend is going to be no doubt. And I can tell you now that we have a cold front coming, and let's hope that it sticks to Sunday and it doesn't come in on Saturday, and we can still have some lekker running rugby this weekend.
100%. City League results then this past weekend, folks, shows us that Violets scored a 1-point win over Gardens this past weekend, while Silvertree with a 33-14 win over Western Zebras, and Hamadias, of course, with a big win over Caledonian Roses. And I would put that match down pretty much to a derby match. Hamadias and Callies, we would put that one down there somewhere as well. In the Southern League, it was a win for Atlantis, 26-20 over Rocklands. Laguna beating Peninsula, and then, of course, Titans with a win over Thistles, getting themselves on the board as well. In the Northern League, it's Blake's up again, or at least they scored a 45-21 win against Young Wesley's. Manenberg Rangers 15-12 over Delft, and then Stellenbosch Coronations 12-3 over Excelsior. Metro League results, folks, let's take a look here. Watsonia went down to Progress. Gordons Bay Pioneers 50-0 over Imekawi, and then Lamont Wanderers with a 1-point win over Khayelitsha. Silver Leaf walking away with a victory over Bishop Lavis, and Temperance and Cities with a win over Perseverance. Jerome, Perseverance and Temperance. There's a home game rivalry there, but Temperance and Cities will be happy with that result. I mean, the guys are so closely matched there.
Yeah, no, it is.
Yeah.
It is. I think they both on one field, and they both, so it is.
Yeah.
But that's a big win for Temperance there.
Yeah, they've got the bragging rights are back there for Cities, yeah. All right, in the Paarl region, it was a win for Young Gardens over Riverstones, and then, of course, Lower Paarl with a win over Young Standards. And Simondium, 45-6 over Peril United. Let's take a look then at the fixtures coming up this weekend, folks. We've already gone through Super League A. Super League B, well, I think, did we cover Super League B fixtures? Yes, we did. Super League C, we covered the fixtures there as well, that's right. And, of course, we spoke about the derby between Macassar and Wraithby. In the City League, let's look at the fixtures there. Masiphumelele take on Caledonian Roses. Young Ideas up against Violets, Hamadias against Silvertree, and then Police and Gardens. That's going to be a big one, guys. Police and Gardens. I think we will most likely be out at that game to film some of those highlights. But Jerome, John, those two teams were both playing over the last year. They played during the when they were allowed to, of course, in a round robin format. This is going to be a big match, Police and Gardens.
Yeah, I mean, Gardens obviously traveling to Police, but that's going to be a close one.
Yeah. In the Northern League, we see Windmill United take on Blakes, Excelsior and Whistling Wheels. Young Wesley is up against Delft. Van der Stel Evergreens take on Manenberg Rangers, and Solarians and Stellenbosch Coronations. And then, of course, in the Metro Leagues, Young Brothers and Watsonia, Perseverance and Progress. Imekawi are hosting Bishop Lavis. Right, folks, that's a wrap for us this evening. Some big games this coming weekend. Jerome, your plans for the weekend, other than playing and coaching rugby?
Yeah, it starts on Friday. My weekend starts on Friday against the Sharks, and then obviously women's final, the URC semi-finals. Then luckily that game is early. It's 3 o'clock. So now hopefully sneak in 1 or 2 club games also So it's a whole weekend of
It
rugby.
starts on Friday for you.
Yeah.
You'll be busy. You'll have your hands full. Jono, I suppose for you it's a combination of playing and watching.
Yeah, there'll be some schoolboy rugby around. There's a few derbies in the
Yeah.
schoolboy side as well. And then the Stormers are playing the earlier game, 3 o'clock. Well, they're playing at 3, and then of course club will be at 4. So we'll be in and out watching a bit of rugby here and there, but we'll definitely be warming up and prepping for our game this coming weekend.
Well, I'm sure you'll have all those different screens, the cell phones and the tablets and all that to make sure that you stay connected.
That's why there's highlights.
Yep. All right, folks, then we'll leave it at that. And of course, thanks to Jerome Parvar and Jonathan van der Walt for joining me on the show. We will see you again next week, same time, same place. Have a fantastic rugby weekend. Bye-bye.